Okay, so basically, what happened was I replaced my flooring in the bathroom right here, the tile floor. So I had to pull my toilet and change the wax ring and stuff whenever I was done, and I got it all set back in place. And I hooked everything back up, and I found that the little valve here, this one here is kind of the gate um, with sweat pipe. So I've got copper and this little guy. There's sweat on there. See there. The problem was this little thing probably hasn't ever been turned off since the house was built in '97. So once I opened this valve back up, I had a drip. I was able to kind of crank on it enough to where the drip was, I was kind of emptying this cup for once every 4 days, 3 or 4 days, but kind of come to the point where I was like, okay, I've really got to get this done. And I guess I drug my feet. Typically, I'm not that kind of guy. I certainly want to fix things myself. The big issue with fixing things yourself is you have that sense of liability. Well, here I'm upstairs. This is the second floor of my house, and I don't want a water leak up here, especially. So I really just wanted to think it through, really have my ducks in a row before I begin this. In fact, it got to the point to where I called around. I called some people, and I settled on a company to come out and actually replace this little valve. This company came out and they wanted to charge me, they gave me two options. One was to sweat a new pipe, a new fitting on here, and the other one was a compression option. One option was almost $400. I believe it was like $360. Not to mention I already had to get him here. That was $85. The second option was almost $600 to replace this. So needless to say, when the company came out, it was okay. There were two guys, by the way. The name of the company is Master Plumbers out of Greensboro, North Carolina. I get the service industry, I get overhead, I get a lot of things. And I'm sorry to be bouncing around so much, but it's really important to get all this information out no matter how it comes out. It's going to be very useful for whoever watches this because of the importance of the do-it-yourself kind of person. And that's what I am. And I would hope the people that have made it this far into the video are DIY folks as well. And they want to change this themselves and not pay $360 or almost $600 for this. For this. Who wants to do that? Nobody. Especially not me. I mean, that's ridiculous. So these guys come out, two of them, and excellent folks. Really, really nice. Their customer service, whenever I set the appointment, was phenomenal. Tons of emails, tons of texts. We're going to be here at this time. They called before they got here, put little booties on when they came in the house. The whole works. But I think that that's all the front. And what I mean by that is they put this perfect image up of their professionalism, their character, their integrity. It's all right there in your face. They got this uniform. They got these fancy little patches on their sleeves. I mean, they're all these badass plumbers. The problem is that cost. You can't justify it. I tried. I did everything I could to justify it, and it made no sense. Because to get them here, $85 to get them to my house, and then they write up the quote. Here's your options, Chris. Go with it or not. It's your choice. Where I'm at with it is this part right here. Look at this. For this and the hose was $14.76. Because I went to Lowe's and bought it myself after I asked them to leave. Um, I really don't get it. Hourly rates, okay, if you say $100 an hour, am I paying for both of them? Am I paying for round trip? Am I paying for mileage? Am I paying for the time it takes to do this? Because I timed myself. When I went to Lowe's and I came back with my parts and replaced it was 1 hour and 21 minutes. 1 hour and 21 minutes. It's done. I'll show you in just a second. It's all done. I'll have pictures and everything throughout this deal. You don't have to see my ugly mug the whole time. But you can't wrap your head around it. They started to say, whenever I was sort of debating this price that they had thrown at me while they were still here and I was in shock, they were saying things like, you can do this right here and right now. We're already here. Why not? Let's do it. You know, it's a great deal. You got a warranty. We'll cover the whole warranty for blah, blah, blah time. It doesn't matter. I told them I'm going to be here for about 4 years. I'm fixing the house up. I'm doing the flooring right now. And it just doesn't make any sense. Nobody can make sense of this. 1 hour and 21 minutes for me to go get the part. They had the parts on their truck. Their van had, and they bragged about this whenever I made the initial call. We've got 5,000 parts on our truck. We don't have to go get parts. We can do it the same day. Great. How much is this? Is this $400? Is this $300? No, this is a $9 part. $9. The hose, $5.78 at Lowe's. And I even accidentally got the longer one. So I'm assuming maybe the 8-inch hose would be a couple bucks less. I don't know. But there was really no justification for that price. Am I paying for the uniform, their advertisement, their overhead, their skilled labor? That's great. But you can't make sense of it. You can't gouge people. Maybe my house gave them a price. Maybe when they came in and saw that it was a nicer home in a good neighborhood, or I don't know. It doesn't make sense. I couldn't see even where they itemized the pricing either. Shouldn't that be a part of the installation? You want to know what you're paying for, right? When you buy a car with all these packages, or the fancy stripes, or the leather interior versus the cloth, it's written out what you're paying for. It makes sense, don't you think? I mean, feel free to leave a comment. I don't care. And I certainly would like input, because if you're on the other side, which I'm in the service industry, which is why I'm so heated about it, because I get it. But I don't gouge people. I never did, and I couldn't see the reason to do so. And I always would lay things out in layman's terms so people know what they're getting. And they know what they're getting, what they're paying for. That's the most important thing. We all want to get what we pay for. But there's no justification for what these guys tried to charge me. Master Plumber is wrong here. I mean, please let me know if you disagree. I mean, I certainly want to know. Because if I can go and get this done in the time that I did, it's not leaking, it's done, it makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. So let me cut the shit here and let's get down to business. So I'm going to show you what tools you have to have. And even this, keep this in mind. Me going to Lowe's, 120 minutes to go there, or an hour and 20 minutes, I'm sorry. An hour and 20 minutes to go to Lowe's, come back, install the valve and the hose back into the bottom of the toilet, and the tools to do this would still cost less than what these guys were wanting to charge. And the tool that I'm about to show you, you don't have to have. I just happen to have it, and it made it ultra convenient. So a hacksaw would probably do it, but I had, let me turn this fucking thing around here. I have this, which is great. You have to have that. And in fact, you actually don't, because what I did was I used this to get some of that extra solder off of the pipe, to kind of clean it up a little bit. And then after I was done, went over with this. Every man's got this, especially if you're a DIY guy, in the garage already. And every man and woman's got one of these. In fact, probably two. This is it. This is it, guys. This handful of parts, tools I mean, is all you need. And obviously a towel. Really? I don't get it. So I'm going to go back to this. This thing right here. I turn the water off at the main. Cut that off. Took this with me. Put it in my pocket. Took it with me to Lowe's. Got the right shit. Come back. Put it back together. Anybody can do this. Anybody can do this. Additionally, here's a big thing. A huge thing. What I did was, I set, when I went to turn the water back on and get this back to going again, very important. I have a in-home, like security little cheap camera system here that I keep at my entryways. I brought this in to put this on the valve after I replaced it. So when I turn the water on from downstairs, I can watch it. I can link it to my camera, watch it, make sure it doesn't explode and leak and go all over the place. And I could cut it off if I needed to. So I think, and for the price, you can even include that thing in the price of this whole project. You still haven't hit 360 or $500 to $600. Still not there. You can't get there. All right. So I will go ahead and end this. I'm going to add the pictures of kind of the details, I guess. We'll see at the end. But I'm not trying to dismantle a company. I'm not trying to make anybody look terrible or crappy. I'm just trying to prove a point. You don't have to gouge the living crap out of people because you can, because you want to, because you want to finalize your day after 9:30 in the morning and you've done one job. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't really care. But you can't do that to people and feel good about it. It's not right. And anybody that wants to do something themselves, you've got a brother, you've got a sister, you got a father, you got a daughter, whatever. These people can do it themselves. It took a couple of tools and a little bit of time and some elbow grease, and you're fine. Find the confidence and do this. Don't let these people push you around. Do this and feel good about it. Okay, it's an accomplishment, I guess, like making your fucking bed in the morning. I don't know, but I don't know. I had a really aggravating morning with these folks, and I don't know. I probably shouldn't have left the review that I did either. So call me cheap, call me whatever you want. But if you can figure out and totalize justifiably the bill for what they wanted to charge, let me know.